let's talk about this movie for a second. So it's called Boy Kills World. I was listening to the Boy Meets World podcast, and they mentioned this movie, and I was like, let me check it out. It stars Bill Skarsgård, and he plays a deaf character in the movie. Is he deaf? No. The role should have gone to a deaf person. I get that they're trying to use the star power, but he wasn't believable as a deaf character. Like, he did fine. The movie is enjoyable. It is a mindless action flick. It is meant for you to shut your brain off and just enjoy. But a deaf person could have done the role. But that's not what I want to talk about, actually. I wanted to know what other people said about this movie. And so I came, of course, to this app. And what I found was this. Now, no hate to any of these creators, because I will explain why after I show you these clips.
Also, Boy is a deaf mute.
Bill Skarsgård is Boy, a deaf mute. And he's made deaf and mute.
With Bill Skarsgård, who is deaf and mute.
So that term, deaf mute, is considered offensive within the deaf community. Now, it is not necessarily those creators' fault, because you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't have any interaction with the deaf community, then you wouldn't know that that's not a term that's supposed to be used. And it was in all the promos for the movie. So they're just parroting the text. And like, it's everywhere. Variety, Yahoo News, they all use the same term. IMDb, same thing, deaf mute. But if you click on the link, they have since changed it to deaf person, because somewhere along the line, somebody realized that they messed up. But they didn't tell everyone else. Now, why is deaf mute offensive? The term deaf mute has been used to indicate that deaf people are less than hearing people because they don't speak, which also many deaf people do speak orally, but also they communicate using sign language. Communication and language does not have to be verbal. So it assumes the superiority of one way over another. And it has been used since the time of Aristotle to oppress the deaf community and call them less than hearing people and unintelligent, etc., because of the nonverbal ways that they communicate. So is it problematic that they used a hearing person as a deaf character? Yes, we know that. Are they going to continue to do that in Hollywood? 100%. It's even more problematic, though, that, like, I know that they're just doing a mindless action flick and they're like, whatever, it's no big, but it does. It matters. This is why representation matters. It's why you have deaf consultants on set. It's why you have these sensitivity coordinators around talking about deaf community and deaf culture on set. They don't want to pay money for that. And what we end up with is stuff like this that is just patently offensive. Not cool. Movie, not cool. And I love me some Sam Raimi, but I'm calling you out here. He was a producer.